Let's move on to the third main topic today. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us from Ernesto Morales, who writes, "Hi, John. Big fan of the show. Thank you so much, Ernesto. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but Tom Hardy last night posted up a picture of Andy Serkis on his Instagram in black and white and then deleted it right away. This doesn't mean that Andy is confirmed for Venom 2, but doesn't the timing seem very consistent with the shortlist that just came out? Thank you." All right. So for those of you who aren't sure what Ernesto was talking about, the other day a report came out, I believe it was Variety, that said Andy Serkis was the guy they were looking at potentially to direct Venom 2. Shortly after that, and I mean like just hours after, The Hollywood Reporter put up a report that said, yes, Andy Serkis is one of the guys they're looking at, but they're also looking at Travis Knight, who directed Kubo and the Two Strings and Bumblebee. And they're also looking at Rupert Wyatt, who directed that one Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie. And they were also looking at those three guys. And those are the guys they were looking at. So we talked about that for a bit. We even made it the topic of one of our questions of the day the other day, asking the question about, which of these three guys do you think should be the director of Venom 2, all that kind of stuff. Well, now it's a couple of days later, and going to what they just wrote in, on Tom Hardy's Instagram page, he out of nowhere puts up this picture, which is, of course, of Andy Serkis. And the only description is that fire sign. Just fire. Like, woo, right? So he puts that up. In a vacuum, something like this means nothing, right? But we're not in a vacuum. Now, look, guys, you know me. I am not about the tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. I'm not about, John, did you see a picture of the Russo brothers drinking a glass of water? Namor lives in water. Do you think that means the Russos just confirmed that they're going to make a Namor movie? Right? We hear that kind of stuff all the time. And I'm always like, guys, shut that down. I mean, who knows? Anything's possible, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. And I am one of those guys who's like, guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But even I got to admit that in the midst of these stories coming out about potential directors for whatever, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Tom Hardy puts this up on his page, I got to admit, I'll drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. It does seem to me, and I could be wrong, this is by no means any sort of certainty at all, but it does kind of seem to me a little bit like you got to take seriously at this point that Andy Serkis may very well be the director of Venom 2, which, by the way, as I said when we talked about the story the other day, I'm all for. I'm also all for Travis Knight doing it. I'm all for Rupert Wyatt doing it. I'm all for Jon Favreau doing it. I'm all for as long as you get a good, talented director. I think Andy Serkis is a guy with a lot of talent. I like his particular style. I think it would fit well with the Venom 2, so I'm good with it. I'm totally good with it. I think at this point that we as fans, with those reports coming out in both Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, and now Tom Hardy doing this, you'd be forgiven to think, yeah, it kind of seems like we can settle this, that Andy Serkis is going to be the director for Venom 2. Now, look, you guys know I really had a good time with the first Venom. I enjoyed that film. I had a really good time with it. And I think Andy Serkis can bring something new to it as well. Now, look, does this guarantee that Andy Serkis is the director for Venom 2? No, obviously not. Obviously not. For all we know, Tom Hardy was just excited by the idea of Andy Serkis. So, and he saw the reports too, so he put up that picture and then thought to himself, oh, wait a minute. By me putting up this picture, people are going to think that that's me saying I'm confirming he's going to do it. I better delete it. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? What do you guys think? Are you putting on the tinfoil hat with me and saying, yeah, I actually think Tom Hardy posting this does kind of indicate that Andy Serkis is doing it? Or are you thinking, nah, John, way too early to call. We don't know at all. We still have no idea at all. What do you think about it? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on that.